Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, we're back.
Sister Michelle.
Well, she's muted.
Yeah, you,
Sister Michelle, you all right?
look, no, she's not. Welcome to Thursday
Oh,
Talk.
I understand. Go ahead, sis.
Welcome to Thursday Talk. Your moderator is here. She's here, but she's not here.
She'll be communicating
She'll
with
be
us
here
in just
shortly.
a moment. She'll be back. Don't worry.
Be back.
Go ahead, Sister Kalila.
Yes. So happy Thursday to you. Welcome in. Look, I am the co-host of Thursday Talk, the 7th Region Coalition, where we help save lives today. And I am so excited about this particular show here because my girl is going to be helping us bring some good news and maybe some good recipes for this the end of this Ramadan. It's so funny because we should have had her in the first part of Ramadan, but I digress. I'm so excited and I'm looking forward to, chiming in with her in regards to what she has in store for us, some love and just some things that we really need to know in this beautiful month of Ramadan. Ramadan will actually be closing tomorrow. Brother Tony, are you excited?
Some say that we're closing tonight, but we'll see what the official knows. Some people have already started telling me, greeting me with Eid Mubarak.
Really?
Okay.
We greet one another with Eid Mubarak after, of course, Ramadan has ended. But some people already are telling me Eid Mubarak. Well, until we're told that the fast ends, then to me, it's still Ramadan Mubarak.
Absolutely. But I wanted to greet everybody.
Wait. Sister Michelle wants to say something.
I want to say something because I'll help clear it up. The Imam already said tonight is the last night for fasting.
Okay, so
tomorrow is officially Eid.
Yeah, officially it ends tomorrow.
Thank you for that, Sister Michelle. That's what I.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. Today it's today. So the Ramadan is done today. tomorrow we finish up the reading. We should all, I think, have one part left of the reading. I think there's one part
Right.
of
This
the
is the
reading
30th
left.
part of the
But
reading.
today,
the last
it
portion.
ends today. It ends on the 20th. The fast, once the nightfall hits, or a certain hour when the sun sets and the night sets in, that's the last night of fasting. This is it. Today is it.
And so
Tomorrow,
tomorrow is business as usual.
And
business
of
as
course,
usual.
by the Imam, you mean Imam Sultan Rahman Muhammad, the
Yes.
Imam, student Imam of the Nation of
Yes.
Islam.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Praises be to Allah. Well, I listen. I was so excited. I didn't give no greetings or no anything of that nature. Please forgive
Well, you
me.
could go ahead and start off right now, sis.
Yes, in the most holy name of Allah, bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet my brothers and sisters and my kin folks and skin folks within the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. And I am excited. I enjoyed this Ramadan as I shared in our previous show, that this Ramadan to me was a very enlightful one. I felt very light. I felt very energetic, and this was a very good and a wonderful breeze for this month of Ramadan. Unfortunately, some did not have as much of a breeze as I, but I think a lot over and over again for this Ramadan. But we're gonna get into it. I've already talked. I'm going to pass it over to our our hostess with the mostest, Sister Michelle Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Michelle.
Walaikum salam. And so sorry for these things happen, right? I have a little doggy, so he likes to express himself every now and then. So my apologies. Anyway, good evening. Welcome into Thursday Night Talks. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings to our non-Muslim families. Ramadan Mubarak. Yes, we are still going strong. If you're on the East Coast, don't break. We still got a whole nother hour and 15 more minutes before we see the darkness come in. So wishing everybody well, praying everybody make it through. Again, you know that we're on, and we always tell you to like and share, because that's important, right? Because if we don't share it, right, others can't benefit from the beautiful messages that we have from our guests and from the conversations that they have and the knowledge that they share. So please like and share. Or of course, we're on Facebook if you're listening to us here. We're
That's
also
right.
on YouTube, so you can grab friends, family, whomever that you think that would actually gain some benefit, right, from hearing what our guest has to say this evening. And again, it is a good topic. It is a timely topic. So we hope that you take notes and you, again, do what you need to do to prepare. It's all about preparation. So I won't digress the message. I will turn this over to Brother Tony. Again, I'm your moderator for this evening, and hopefully I don't have any more expressions from my doggy Kobe. So, he has to express himself. He wants to be on the South Region Coalition Talk Thursday Night Talks too. Either way. All right, Brother Tony, take it away.
Let me begin properly. In the name of the one God who bears many names. Some know him as Jah, others know him as Jehovah, some know him as Dios, some know him as Alobdumare. Regardless to the name that we call on God, we are taught in the Holy Quran that the most beautiful names belongs to Allah. I bear witness to his oneness, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I am forever thankful to Almighty God, Allah, for his intervention in our affairs and wise choice among us, whom he chose, showing his divine favor among Black people here in North America, showing his divine favor of the Aboriginal peoples of the earth. And I thank Allah for that the raising of that one in the personage of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I thank them both for not leaving us alone and preparing one that would continue the work of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, continuing the work of the salvation of our people. And I speak none other than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Welcome to Thursday Night Talks with the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives. And of course, Ramadan Mubarak, as we have been expressing. Tomorrow we will be observing Eid. So we'll be saying Eid Mubarak tomorrow. All praises due to Allah. We're at the tail end of Ramadan. We thank you for joining us. We've had a whole series of programs just on the focus of Ramadan and its divine purpose and how it helps shape and mold us in this beautiful month as we abstain from eating and drinking during the daylight hours, putting Almighty God at the forefront of our thinking and our activity, reading from cover to cover the Holy Quran, abstaining from other things, especially negative things,
Mm.
negative thinking about self, negative
Mm.
thinking about others, negative conversations, profanity, warding ourselves away from all those things. That doesn't mean that we're not going to slip every once in a while, but we make a concerted effort to abstain and try to remain as positive and as focused on the revealed word of Almighty God, Allah, as possible, and not forget how divinely important we are. We don't think too much of ourselves, but don't think too little of ourselves. Tonight, beloved family. Oh no, you got the
Oh, I'm
wrong
sorry.
beloved. No,
Mm-mm,
um,
mm-mm, mm-mm,
we're going to be
mm-mm,
focusing on another ministry tonight. But I want to say before we go into no, not the ministry of spiritual development, beloved. It's the although we are
yeah, we were
that
going to
is
tie into both of them, but go ahead.
okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and tie into both of them. But I want to thank our student regional minister for assembling us together after the July 4th criterion message back in 2020 of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as we are working diligently to save lives. We were guiding our people away from an experimental inoculation, and we're still warding our people away from negative things that we are experiencing in this world, drug addiction and um, financial, if I could call it, financial or fiscal irresponsibility and
Mm.
becoming more responsible in our activities on a holistic level. And we are conducting ourselves on that holistic level through the 9 ministries. I thank Allah for Student Minister Patrick, our student regional minister, for assembling us together and for us to focus. He's the one that had the idea to have us now focus on the 9 ministries and save lives through the 9 ministries. So, Sister Khalila, let's go ahead and bring that ministry up. Again, this is the head ministry. There's the ministry of spiritual development, as spirituality is the base to everything that we do. That is what the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach us that we should do so that we can become successful in all endeavors in life. The Ministry of Spiritual Development bears responsibility for assisting the individual member of the community in the process of heeding truth and right guidance. Respect, honor, and obedience to the authority of the Creator in all aspects of life are essential to peace, harmony, freedom, justice, and equality. In the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, self development is absolutely essential, an essential component to the microcosm of the new world. It is not enough that we grow horizontally through the acquisition of farms, factories, banks, industry, trade, commerce, money, good homes. Horizontal growth alone is death. All dead things are on a horizontal level. Therefore, we must grow vertically, grow in uprightness, or we will be overcome by our horizontal growth. The foundation of this ministry are study and training units designed on the guidance of Allah God to produce self examination, self analysis, self correction, and to quicken in each of us the self accusing spirit. For it is only when we are awakened morally that we have to face the self accusing spirit that leads to our resurrection. And to get more on this topic itself, visit your local Muhammad mosque or study group, as this comes straight from the self improvement study guides. In this particular one, on December 12th, 1986, that's when these particular words were said and were published. So we're also focusing on the Ministry of Health and Human Services, which is responsible for the health and well being of the members of the Nation of Islam, registered and non registered alike. So you think that we're just focusing on registered members? No, we consider all of our people members of the Nation of Islam, whether we realize it or not. But we're focusing on their well being physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as individuals, families, and communities. Health is defined as the state of being of the individual and his family and community that is the fulfillment of the ultimate perfection, that is the intention of the Creator. And so there are the ministries itself. And so are we
Well,
ready to bring on our beloved guest?
Yes, but
Yes.
before,
Oh,
yes. Thank you, Brother Tony.
thank you for. I know exactly where you're going. So now, if those of us that have been tuning in, if you value the great programming that we have been presenting to you, we can get that up there, please.
absolutely.
You have now the great opportunity to donate to the cause, a cause greater than ourselves. We are, what we do is definitely charity work, dear family, but of course there are costs to this charity work, especially the platform that we use. And so we thank you greatly for whatever generous donations you're able to make. Hey, you could put 5 on it, but don't sing the rest of a song.
Brother Tony. You can put more than
For
5
real.
on it.
Put 5 on it. Supporting the 7th Region Coalition. I know I just messed up that whole song.
Yeah.
I know I did, and I can't sing. So I'm going to hand it over to Sister Michelle, please.
Thank you, Brother Tony. We'll spare the
welcome.
audience. Thank you. Anyway, so yes, let's talk about our guest because we got a great topic. We want to get into it, but before we say anything, I want to have an opportunity to read her beautiful bio. So, our guest tonight is Sister Angela Muhammad. Sister Angela is a proud mother of 5 beautiful children whose ages range from 24 to 6. What? Y'all not gonna believe it when you see it. 24-year-old. Okay. But now she's living in Jacksonville, Florida for the past 15 years. She was originally born and raised in Alabama, Burlingame, Alabama, and is the youngest of 3 children. Sister Angela is a homeschool mother of 3 and works from home. She's a full-time neosurgeon as a wait, hold on. I gotta read what? Okay, Sister Angela is a homeschool mother of 3 and works from home full-time for a neosurgeon. Okay. As an office manager, I was about to say, whoa, medical scribe, medical transcriptionist, medical biller and coder, medical assistant and personal assistant, all in one breath. My hats go off to you, Sister Angela. She is also an entrepreneur and owns her own business, Surgery Care LLC, and has clients in the Jacksonville and Miami areas. In addition to this, she is also an owner of Unity Bakery and Cafe in Jacksonville, Florida. Ooh, this sister is on fire. She specializes in bean pies, cakes, cookies, and homemade specialty breads. She also does meal preparations for customers, providing wholesome meals based on How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Sister Angela is also a level 2 Reiki practitioner, part of the 10,000 Fearless here in Jacksonville, I should say, as well as a Gold Seal Dianetics auditor. Whew. She is also known throughout her community for her outreach work in the Jacksonville community, which is a part of her overall mission. So that was a whole lot. So let's bring on Sister Angela. She is a phenomenal. Thank you, Sister Angela, for being so awesome. Okay, there you go.
We can't hear you. Get off yourself off mute, please.
There
you go.
Can you hear me?
Walaikum salam.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Let me first say that I am deeply humbled to even be welcomed and invited to speak and share with you all today. So I am very, very humbled to be with you.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, before we get started, I know Sister Angela is such a humble soul. And she don't brag on herself, but I'm finna brag on her. That bread though.
It's the bread. It's the bread.
Listen, it's the bread. It's the zucchini bread.
It's the bread.
And it's the bread. But we're gonna talk about the bread. Look, she sprinkled something. She sprinkled something. Listen, okay. I'm sorry. See, I just digress. Okay, I'm sorry. See, that's why you can't have your big sisters on the show.
And Sister Kalila, it's only 7:21, so spare us, please.
I'm sorry.
Look.
I digress. All right. So let's get into these questions. So the first question we have for you.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. Let's now, Sister Angela, is there something that you want to share with us before we get into the questions now?
About the bread? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What is you about the bread? About Sister Angela, just about you in general and maybe how you got started. Because you got a lot of stuff in your bio. So
man, my life, like Mary J said.
Come on now.
It's real.
When you said my life, when you said my life, I thought you were gonna sing the Roy Ayers song.
Oh no,
no, I thought Mary J.
I digress. Go ahead, Sister Angela.
So yes, as far as the baking and the cooking, as my bio said, I am the youngest of three. So I'm considered the baby. I didn't know how to cook anything. It wasn't until I came into the Nation of Islam and I was introduced to my class where we had been taught how to cook that I really got into understanding the importance and the science behind cooking. And so I kind of took that on. It just became a passion to cook. And baking, I didn't know how to bake nothing. I could eat a cake, but I didn't know how to bake one. So my daughter at the time, my oldest daughter, she wanted to go into culinary school. So ended up, we're self-taught bakers. We just got in the kitchen and tried to figure it out, how to bake things from scratch. And fortunately, we were blessed to be successful with it. We have, we're able to get and secure customers all over Jacksonville and barbershops all over the city. Just from being self-taught bakers and just keeping at it. And so one of my best sellers is, like Sister Kalila said, it's the zucchini bread. And so
with that butter. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we've been working on that for a while too, to perfect it. And so that's basically how I got into it. The medical field, I was going to school to be a veterinary, going into veterinary medicine years ago. I loved the medical field because I loved helping and healing. So I was attracted to the medical field. I saw them do an autopsy on a horse at Tuskegee. and that was it. I was done. So, but I still wanted to be in the medical field, and so I pursued, other avenues that would keep me in the medical field because I felt like that's where I needed to be. So, ended up working with a neurosurgeon whom I've been with for 5 years. He's a very busy neurosurgeon, and he keeps me very busy. So that's my life.
That's good. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. When I was reading your bio, I was like, well, we got to ask her how she got there.
Right. You're absolutely correct. I was just trying to get right into these questions. You know what I mean?
Like, just cut off the fats.
Right.
Just try to get to the meat. Tell us, slow down. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Praises be to Allah. So the first question is, what are some historical foods that are tied into the holy season of Ramadan?
So I'm gonna just give a few. The first that I would start with are dates, and I think Muslims are pretty familiar with breaking fast with dates. It's all over the Muslim world. Even when we were in Egypt last year, we were blessed to be there during the holy month of Ramadan. Our tour guide, he stopped and pulled over on the side of the road, pulled the bus over. He gets out and comes back with a big bag. He knew we were Muslims, a bag of dates for us to have. So it's known all over the world about dates being used to break fast. Even Prophet Muhammad was said to have broken his own fast with 3 dates and water. So dates are they're very they have iron, magnesium. They're high in iron, magnesium, natural sugars, and fibers. So when we're fasting, what happens is our blood sugar level will drop. But dates are very good for getting restoring our blood sugar back to where it needs to be after a long period of fasting. So dates are very good to have to break your fast if you like them, because some people don't. But if you do, it's very beneficial to you to have that. The other thing I would like to share is soups. Soups, right? So we know as Muslims, we enjoy our bean soup, but it's not just bean soup. You can have lentil soup, and you can have vegetable soup. When we were in Egypt, every restaurant that we went to had this. It was a lentil soup that was pureed. It was the best lentil soup I've ever had in my life. If I figure out how to make that lentil soup, I'm gonna be rich. It was phenomenal. I mean, you can still remember it to this day. It was absolutely phenomenal, and it was pureed lentils. So we have bean soup, you have lentil soup, and you can do vegetable soup. I do a vegetable soup, and I put salmon in it, and it's really good. So you have soup, also breads, like Sister Kalila said. We have the zucchini bread, pita bread, even is known historically, and even whole wheat bread. So in the classroom of Allah, we are taught how to make our own breads. So breads, rice is another historical food that's tied to Ramadan. And I would say hummus as well. Hummus is typically made with chickpeas, but we don't eat chickpeas. But that didn't put us out of the hummus game. It doesn't, because you can make hummus with navy beans. It is delicious. My favorite way to eat navy bean hummus is with pesto. So I make my own pesto, and then I incorporate it into the navy beans. So you have navy bean hummus. So y'all may want the recipe for that, and I'll get it to you. So
I want it. Okay.
Really good. It's really good. And the other thing I wanted to share was fruits, because there are some fruits that are hydrating type fruits. And we know that we're going long periods of time without drinking, and hydrating is very important. The fact of the matter is dehydration is a risk when we're fasting like this, and we have to take the proper precautions to hydrate ourselves properly so that we don't fall into that, because that's a bad thing. So I wanted to share a little bit of the fruits that are known to be hydrating type fruits for now during Ramadan and even after. So berries are good hydrating fruits. Watermelon, of course, is like 92% water of its total weight. Pineapples are about 87% water of their total weight. Even bananas are about 74% water of their weight. Grapes are like 81%, and they're also a very strong antioxidant. So, and those are some foods that are tied historically to Ramadan.
Praises
Praise be
be
to
to Allah. That made me hungry. I don't know about everybody else, but that did make me hungry, Sister Michelle.
Sister Kalila, we do have a question that's related to what Sister Angela just mentioned right now
Yes.
from the audience. So I'm going to post it up. Here we have Sister LaShawn. She poses a question: how and where could you get some real fruit and seeds in it? How do you know when you're eating good? And of course, Sister Angela, if I could partially answer that question, there's
Yes, sir.
always independent farmers out there um, that you could go to your local farmers markets,
Mhm.
whatever city you're in, and you'll find the watermelons that have the seeds in it. Here in I live in Miami's Little Havana, and Latinos typically in this area they don't like to eat grafted food. Um,
Mm.
that's something very interesting. Like they don't tend Latinos. They're coming from Central and South America. They don't like grafted food too much. They oftentimes complain that the food here doesn't have much taste
Mm.
to it at all. So there are many that bring watermelons and other type of fruits from Homestead and from other areas, and they sell very well on the corners here in Little Havana. So you'll find your independent sellers in your local city. You just got to find them. Sister Angela, if you could answer the rest of the question.
I mean, I really don't have a whole lot to add on to what you said, Brother Tony. I know that it's challenging. I've run into it myself. But what you said about going and locating local farmers is the best route in trying to find non-GMO type fruits and vegetables that we wanna consume, the better products. So
In Jacksonville, where you're from, where can you typically find independent farmers and some as she's posing the question, how do you know when you're eating good? And so
yeah, so
when do you know that when the fruits and the vegetables that you're getting are good?
yeah. So based off of how to eat to live, we know to check our foods. We want to check and see if it's organic. We want to check and see where it was produced. Here we have a local farmers market on Beaver Street. Also on South Side, there's a store that I like to go to. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's on Southside Boulevard, and they have a lot of organic products, and they actually get products from local farmers as well. And you can check Whole Foods, even though the food is costly there. A lot of their food is organic, and it's from local farmers as well. So you just have to kind of ask around and see and check. But I know it's challenging. It's challenging here.
Even with Whole Foods, it's challenging because I've been to Whole Foods and they would say organic seedless grapes. I'm like,
Right. How
how
does that
is
work?
how is that
How does that
organic?
work?
Like
Yes.
I have to say it in Spanish, like ¿qué? ¿Eh?
Exactly. How does that work? So
I,
yeah,
I
it's
don't understand
challenging.
that.
Yeah, it's absolutely challenging.
Absolutely.
And even when you indicate, organic seedless grapes, I mean, it's like an oxymoron.
Right.
Why would you even indicate that there is a organic seedless
Seedless.
grape? I
Where,
mean,
where do they
That
do that at?
that
right.
makes no sense.
Yep.
But I think the focus is more so organic versus the actual reality of
How
a
do you get the
seedless
fruit
grape.
without seeds, right?
Right. So we just have to be mindful, even though we go to these expensive, they're going to have our back and our best interest stores. You
Right.
still have to look behind the why in regards to, picking up those items as well. So,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Okay, you're on mute,
Sister
Michelle.
Michelle, you're on mute. You're on mute. We can't hear you, Sister Michelle.
Okay, there I go. I came
There
back.
you go.
I was saying, I was like, I'm gonna jump in, and so let me ask you a question, because we're literally on the last day, right? But it doesn't mean, right, the fun doesn't stop, right? With how we take on Ramadan, right? I say fun because it's like after it's over, it's almost like oh, I want it back, right? It's almost like this yearning to have it back. Uh,
Right.
but we know you talked about some foods, but during the process of Ramadan, let's just say, had we ate the right things, meaning at the fruits, the vegetables, and the beans, just kind of the things that we should do. Because sometimes it's as late as Ramadan, you're like, man, I just want to eat.
Right.
Might be downing some really bad food for you, and it doesn't help you or aid you during that process. But
Mm,
based upon the foods, if we were doing it right, let's talk about how those foods and aiding the cleaning and the restoration of the body, getting us back. Because after 30 days, you should visibly see some type of improvement in all realms, right?
right.
Not just spiritually, but just really physically, everything. You should see signs that there was something going on during that time.
Yes, ma'am. So, um, the foods that are really good for aiding in cleansing and restoration are, of course, leafy greens like salads. You want to eat like broccoli, spinach, cabbage. And these are high in antioxidants and they're immune boosting foods. They
Mm.
also reduce bloating and they cleanse the gastrointestinal system.
Can you say that again? I have to do a Brother Lau.
Okay.
Because let me tell you something. Ramadan is real, and I don't know if everybody want to share their bloating and gassy experiences, but I'm telling you, it's a lot of gas that comes from that. So, Sister Andrea, you're basically saying that if we focus on leafy vegetables, that will kind of avoid that
Yes.
gassy type feeling.
Yes. So the cabbage,
Wow.
the broccoli, spinach, those green vegetables help and they aid in the bloating feeling and they help cleanse the
Mm.
gastrointestinal system, which is also very good. So I was having iftar with sisters and I was the one on the phone because cabbage had to be on the menu. I'm the one calling. I'm like, who bringing the cabbage? Who bringing the cabbage? We've had steamed cabbage, we had curried cabbage, we had stir fried cabbage, any kind of cabbage.
Mm.
So, we made sure that we had that on the menu for breaking iftar.
Mm.
When you're talking about antioxidants, we have free radicals in our body, which are really unstable atoms. And these can damage the cells of the body. And
Mm.
this cause premature aging as well as illness in the body and cancer.
Mm.
So we want to make sure when we're eating that we're consuming a lot of antioxidant type foods, and some of those I just mentioned up above. We also want to do navy beans, navy beans, navy beans, navy beans, navy beans, navy beans, navy beans. We love our
Right.
navy beans, and the navy bean assists in detoxification of the whole body, not just heart part of the body. I'm talking about the whole body, the detoxification of the entire body from consuming navy beans and the nutrients that are actually in the navy bean. So this detoxification, it actually helps reduce inflammatory type diseases, cardiovascular
Mm.
diseases, which are related to the heart, and also degenerative type diseases. So the navy beans help with that.
Mm.
The other thing I wanted to share was yogurt and buttermilk. Okay. So I don't like buttermilk. The only time I drink it, or no, I don't even drink it. Let me stop. The only time I use buttermilk is if I'm cooking and I'm putting it into a recipe.
Mm.
But like my grandmother and my grandfather, I remember them drinking buttermilk. And
I
like
tried it once. Yeah.
I no, I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. But I put it into certain foods. That's the only time I use it. But it's good for you. It's good for your digestive tract. And also yogurt. If you're a yogurt eater or if you can take it down. I'm not a yogurt eater, but yogurt is a probiotic. And what a probiotic is, it's live yeast and bacteria that is actually good for you. So when you consume it, it actually helps in your gut health and your bowel health if you can consume it. So I'm not a yogurt person, but I may try to give it a try again. Just knowing the truth about it.
It's,
So, yes,
Sister
sir.
Angela,
Yes, sir.
what you're mentioning right now, these are things that we should be incorporating into our diets all year round.
Right.
During Ramadan, we get to create and I have to bear witness to this, especially with fruits. I don't typically eat. Me personally, I don't eat fruits during the rest of the year. Sister Kalila, let me.
I'm
I'm gonna
clutching my
change
pearls.
that.
I'm clutching my pearls. You know I
I'm
am.
gonna change
Okay.
that
Okay.
because like, when I break my fast, I begin with eating some melons or pineapples or things, and I
Right.
mix it in with Greek yogurt.
Mm.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
It is
Yes, sir.
thebomb.com.
I'm
Yes,
smiling
sir.
now, Brother
So
Tony.
no, I'm gonna be making a change throughout the year.
Make that change like Michael
And I see it's like overall I'm tripping. Like I eat it during Ramadan, but I don't eat it during the rest of the year. You're tripping, brother Tony. So, but these are foods that are good for us, not just during Ramadan, but year
all
round.
year round. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And me, I'm an energy guru. I love having lots of energy, and I know that fruit makes that energy, it comes alive. Because keep in mind, when you're dealing with fruit or any type of vegetable, you automatically get the live sensation
Right.
of what is needed in the body.
Mhm.
So, and it makes you lighter. It makes you think quicker. It really deals with the mental as well when when you eat a lot of fruit and you eat a lot of vegetables. So I
Yes.
always put that into my diet because that's very important to me because I'm very active in my day to day. So that's why I was clutching my pearls, Brother Tony, because you deal with children. So you should be eating like a whole
Oh,
mango, 12 mangoes a day.
She said
on
she
on
one.
that
She
note,
said 12 mangoes. Lord Jesus, it's a lot
12
of
mangoes.
mangoes.
No.
No, Sister Blue.
No. But on
Yep.
that note, we do have a question from the audience that's related to this. If we could go to it very quickly.
Yes.
And Sister LaShawn has another question. Sister LaShawn, you should be here asking questions along with us. It says here,
Big sis.
antioxidants. How much does this help with cancer? What
Mm.
are what are foods, excuse me, what are foods that has the antioxidants in it?
So, yes, to answer the question, the antioxidants do help with cancer. So we have the best remedy, and that's the navy bean. The navy bean
Mhm.
also has antioxidants in it, and we should be eating that every day. The navy bean has been proven to help fight cancer. So yeah, I would say the navy bean to help, and also as I mentioned, greens, vegetables. A lot of vegetables are have antioxidants in them. There's also there's teas and things of that nature that have
Herbs.
herbs that are antioxidants that you can consume as well that will help fight off disease.
Turmeric.
Green
It's
tea,
amazing. Turmeric is
mhm,
amazing.
ginger. Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. Woo-hoo. Well, since we're talking about the bean, right? Let's talk about the value. You gave us so many benefits, right, of that navy bean, but why having the navy bean soup every every meal you get, you should at least have some kind of navy bean soup and then go into your meal, because it's, I mean, we know that we know the value of the navy bean, but when we talk about the navy bean soup, we're incorporating antioxidants, the onions, the peppers,
The garlic
right,
help.
garlic, turmeric, and so you have all of these things packed into the
Right.
soup. So you got the powerful navy bean on top of the things that aid the navy bean to help do its job, because it does multiple things. All the things you put in there: sage, turmeric, cayenne pepper. Some people use that. I mean, you got onions, the garlics, the green pepper, the red pepper. I mean, onion. I mean, it's packed.
Yeah,
Man,
scientific. It's a scientific um, you know, system that's put together for us to consume for numerous health benefits. So, when I was thinking about the navy bean, I was like, the navy bean in this book, from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live. He says that the navy bean was the only bean that Allah in person, Master Fard Muhammad, he recommended or suggested that we would eat. It's the only one that he basically prescribed for. Of all the beans that are in the world,
Right.
this is the only bean that he really, wanted us to eat. And so that brings up the question, well, why this bean? Why what's about this bean that the supreme being, the best knower, the Allah that's ruling, is telling us and prescribing for us this bean to eat, and then you have to get into the health benefits of it. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he referred to this bean affectionately as a little pearl.
That's right.
And
I remember that.
The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that this bean is safe for prolonging life. So if I don't say anything else to y'all about the navy bean, but I am going to say something else about it. But if I didn't, if you just sit there and think about that for just a minute,
Right.
that bean referred to as a pearl, and also is safe for prolonging life. I mean, how valuable is that? So I wanted to share, if I could, a couple of things with you all. I know we're pressed for time, but this was so profound. I could not share it. So if I can just take a minute, and I wanted to read a couple of things to you all. One of the things that stood out the most about the value to me with the navy beans is how we're around radiation all day, every day. The potassium and iodine in navy beans make it a natural source of protection from radiation. If you didn't know that. It's one of the finest sources of copper. Navy beans aid in reducing the risk of inflammatory diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis. It's high in dietary fiber, and it helps prevent constipation and digestive disorders like irritable bowel syndrome and diverticulosis. It's rich in dietary fiber, folate, and magnesium, and navy beans can lower the risk factor for heart attacks and peripheral vascular diseases. They are full of complex carbohydrates that aid in weight loss and give brain and muscles an excellent supply of energy. The bean helps to balance blood sugar levels in the body while providing steady, slow-burning energy for people who have insulin resistance or hypoglycemia, which is an abnormally low blood sugar level. Navy beans are a good source of iron. Like me, I have low iron, so it's very good for me to eat navy beans every day. Yet they're low in calories and almost fat-free. This is a great benefit for nursing mothers, pregnant, or menstruating women. They are high in thiamine, which is vitamin B1, offering 29% of the value. This nutrient aids in the production of acetylcholine, and it's essential for memory. Low levels of this nutrient, acetylcholine, can lead to age-related mental dysfunctions, and Alzheimer's disease.
Mm.
So it's important that we consume foods that help with that, because we know a lot of what we do in the Nation of Islam is memory too. So we have to stay on top.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
We definitely have to stay on top of that. So it helps to lower blood cholesterol levels by attaching itself to the bile acids in the intestines, which are used in the production of cholesterol. Once this bile is excreted from the body, the fiber takes the bile acids along with it. So I just wanted to share that with you all, because that question was just, you know, we can sit and talk about that. We can go on and on and on and on to the break of dawn talking about the navy bean and all the health
Right.
benefits of it. But I wanted to share that with you all, because I think sometimes we don't really understand the power of the navy bean, and why Allah, in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, he prescribed this for us to eat. Of all the beans in the world, this is the one he recommended for us.
Now, I have a question. Of course, I know how to, but there's a more of a prompt question, and of course, perhaps you have more information that I have. But in regards to how we should eat the navy bean, we're taught in the Nation of Islam that we shouldn't eat it with starchy food like with rice, because
Rice.
navy bean itself is starchy.
It has starches.
Now we should incorporate it with all of our meals, but when in the meals that we have navy beans, could we still have rice? That's my question to you, Sister Angela.
Yeah, we can still eat like you have your soup separate, and then you think about how we'll eat navy bean pie, even after a meal. So if
Right.
it's okay to do that. I don't think that I'm not
Don't
rocket science on this, but I don't think
overdo it.
Yeah,
Don't overdo it. Don't pile a whole bunch of
everything
rice
is in
on your plate.
moderation, right? We got to do everything in
Right.
moderation. So, but yeah, I don't think that that's a bad thing. As far as the navy bean is concerned, I feel like you should get it however you can get it. I put navy beans in cakes. I put navy beans in bread. Of course, I do bean pies, but and then I'll do bean soup, but I'll do something separate where I'll just put garlic and basil and butter and onions and just eat navy beans that way, outside of soup. So I'm a firm believer in how you can get them, get them.
I think that there has been times where you have believers that will actually make bean soup like a gravy over their rice. So I think and again, that's why we can go back to our we need to have a table setting with a 5-course meal, being your soup, salad, and your bread, in addition to milk. And that's why we were taught to eat those first. Let the body then digest, and then partake in your entree, which includes your rice, and if you want to eat fish or whatever, and your vegetable. And that's why it's prescribed to us to eat from 4 to 6, not 4 and 6, but giving yourself the opportunity to sit down, have the opportunity to let your food digest between those hours, and then proceed. And if you're doing this regimen every day, then you won't have to crave anything for the rest of the day if you're actually on that strict regimen between those hours. Unfortunately, the way our body and our life works, that is sometimes little to impossible to do. But we have to be mindful. This is why these things happen, and it's critical, because a lot of times when we cannot master, one meal a day, it's simply because our regimen is off, and we're actually not saying per se going to go to fast food restaurants, but we're eating our food so fast to where it's not properly digesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you become hungry later on in the day because you're not allowing the body to actually partake or digest what is already been given. So we just have to be mindful, because it's something that you have to know what your body is capable of doing, and how do your body react to certain things, and as it relates to your partaking of food.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
So what else do we have here? Let's see. So there's a question here about what are some of the communal
Communal.
communal, couldn't spit it out, gathering where sharing food is an important tradition. So tomorrow, right, most mosques, right, around the nation will either join our brothers and sisters, from the masjids. Most times they have a community gathering where you go and you can partake in eating and and just really celebrating the whole month of Ramadan and everything. So
But
tomorrow,
what will be done, Sister Michelle, is celebrating the fact that we have gone through the fast. We are observing the fast, and we're celebrating as a community, going through that experience together.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's where we have it.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
So if we can maybe share some of that tradition, where if right, maybe where that important tradition came from, and why it's important that we go through that process.
Well, I don't have the information as to where the tradition came from, but as far as communal get-togethers and gatherings and the importance of them, I mean, some that we are more familiar with is, like, for instance, Thanksgiving or Christmas. A lot of people aren't familiar with that, but it's part of the culture, communal gatherings of a lot of different countries. And when you think about it, and so I had thought about it too when we were in Egypt, and they had us set up at tables together. We were kind of course, you had your own plate, but we also had foods that we had to share with one another. But this all, it helps to build the social connection, which I think we're missing a lot of.
Mhm.
We don't sit at the table anymore, or we're sitting at the table and we have our phones and we're distracted. And that social connection and the relationships that we should be building during communal type events like Eid and Iftar, we've kind of gotten away from that. But
Mm.
it's vitally important to building solid relationships with one another. I mean, sometimes you'll have one person in the living room eating, somebody in the bedroom, somebody may be out on the
right,
or whatever.
right.
We've kind of come away from the centralized, us together sitting centralized in one particular area, and us socializing, because we're social beings. So to
Right.
disconnect us like that, you can't join something that's separated. So
Mm.
have to really focus on trying to get back to that. I try to implement that myself. And, even with initiating it, open your home to other people. You initiate it.
Mhm.
And I think it also should be something that's implemented as part of our Ramadan practice, where we're inviting believers into our homes, where we're
Beautiful.
engaging one another and trying to build these solid bonds of relationships. Because heck, that's probably why the social fabric is just deteriorating, because we can't connect with one another. Really have
Mm.
to, I looked at this, and really thought about it, how important that is. We disconnect from one another. And how can you have solid relationships when we're disconnected and disunited? So
Mm.
True.
Absolutely. And Sister Michelle, to answer the other question, the first Eid al-Fitr was observed in Medina, not in Mecca, as you may know. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, received revelations first in the month of Ramadan.
Mhm.
But it was not until he performed the hijrah, or the flight to Mecca, where there was refuge there in that community in Medina, where the Muslims were accept. Well, there were brothers and sisters that were accepting Islam, and that's where they started performing Eid al-Fitr there in Medina after the Prophet's flight. I just wanted to
Praise
share.
be to Allah.
But
Yes.
in truth, the Aboriginal peoples, no matter where you could find us, eating together communally, as a family, as a people, that's always been a tradition, even before the time of Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. And so this is a sacred tradition that we have carried since as far back as we could go. We could find us doing that. And so I just wanted to share that real quick.
Yes, sir. Praise be to
Praise
Allah.
be
I
to
think
Allah.
because sometimes, we've had a lot of conversations about that. Sometimes, we don't go to the origin, so it's good to
Absolutely.
back up. So
Absolutely.
praise be to Allah. Oh, wow. We are rolling up. We are right at 8 o'clock.
About that time.
Just about that time. But I think that we had a really good conversation, because I think that, just as we're coming off of Ramadan, these are really good things to keep in mind as we go through the years. It's like Brother Tony had mentioned, this is not just for Ramadan, right? You eat right,
No.
take care of yourself, right? This is literally a year after year, day after day, hour after hour, second after second. We just got to keep this in mind, and I think that that'll allow us to be here, of course, right? As long as He'll allow us to be here. So, but thank you, Sister Angela. Amazing person, by the way. I need to taste your, because I have tried to perfect my zucchini bread too. So I definitely
It's good.
I
She got some good bread too.
Praise be to Allah.
She do.
listen. I'm like, I'm in the kitchen like this. I'm just trying to figure it out. Praise be to Allah.
Yes,
But thank you for coming on. This is absolute. And
We thank you, Sister
Thank you
Angela.
for having
And Sister Angela, please give your information in regards to, because again, she's in Jacksonville, but she does, send that good bread to anywhere
right,
you at.
I will
I'm
ship
telling
it.
you, she will ship it.
How can we stay in touch with you, Sister Angela?
So
How can we get in touch with you?
I'm on Facebook. My Facebook page for my business is Unity Bakery. You can also follow me on Facebook, Sister Angela. You can message me if you like to place an order, and I can give you my contact information if that's okay as well, to place orders.
Okay, you can look. Tell them to inbox you. Make it intentional.
Yeah, don't be playing.
I'm telling you,
Sister
listen.
Angela's on Facebook
Right,
and
no.
Instagram, or just Facebook?
exactly.
Just Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I agree with that. Don't inbox her with some crazy stuff.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Right.
Right. Right. Because I think, excuse me, now, Sister Angela, now I'm not on the page, but if somebody goes on a Facebook page, will they see maybe a list of items that you sell,
Yes,
with prices and
yes,
things like
ma'am.
that?
On my Unity Bakery page, there's a menu there.
Okay, well then family, there's no reason to inbox that talking about
Yeah. So what happened was,
right. If I get 3, no, it's the prices is on a page. You pay what she's asking you to pay. And
Let's support one another. We demonstrate love to one another by supporting one another intentionally.
intentionally.
Be intentional and bless somebody. Ramadan ain't over, okay? So
That's right.
random acts of kindness is what we looking for.
That's right, sis.
That's
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Random acts of kindness. Thank you. All right, I turn it back over to Sister Cleveland.
Yes. Well, we're going to close out this beautiful Ramadan with
Are you gonna do that famous segment?
yes, the tree of the week, tree of the week, tree of the week.
Bring on that tree of the week.
Tree of the
Here we
week, tree of the week, tree of the week. All right. So our tree of the week is
We need a song for the tree of the week.
We have to incorporate a song. Get a song. We'll get it.
it is the benefits
The
of health benefits of Ramadan. And it's a beautiful thing because Sister Angela's already talked about the beautiful benefits of Ramadan and the health benefits of Ramadan. Just gonna go and because look, everything that Sister Angela probably have said is all we already went over it, right?
Right.
So
True
you
that.
know, so those who was having some hypertension issues, guess what? The month of Ramadan, the health benefits, it reduce hypertension.
Mhm.
Ooh.
It actually increases blood functions. So you know how you have that cloudy mind? It actually
Mm-hmm.
increases the blood, the brain functions. It improves the body. Help me with this one. Um, what, composition?
Body
Hold
composition.
on.
Yeah,
Body.
improves body composition.
Mhm.
So I think it's dealing with just the weight, right? Because when you're actually fasting, you can actually feel your stomach getting smaller. It really, you can really feel it. And it's
When you can't eat anymore, that's
You
the
eat like two bites and like
two
you're like
bites.
I'm
like
full.
you're done, right?
You drink some water, like the water makes me full.
Right, exactly. And then you want to go to bed because it's so late, right? So it
She's
improves with body composition. Fasting reduce cancer risks.
mm,
You got
Mhm.
to realize we are eating and we don't know what we're eating. And these things sometimes that we're eating is cancer related,
Right.
Teach.
especially with those dyes, especially with those any those enzymes, all of those things are cancer. Most of those are cancer related. So
Preservative
guess what?
foods.
The way you push away from the table, you know, you can reduce that risk of cancer. Um,
I know.
stim it stimulates the okay, y'all have to help me with this one. Auto
Uh,
¿Qué cosa?
oh,
Stimulates autophagy.
autophagy. I don't know what that is, but
Autophagy. Autophagy.
we're gonna dissect
Let me
that one.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna dissect that one because we need to know. We're scientists, right?
That's right.
We need to identify these. It means consuming of the body's own tissue.
Mm.
And yes, so it's like a
It's part of the metabolic process
yes of
occurring
occurring with
starvation.
starvation, right, and certain diseases. So that is wonderful. It stimulates that, so it balances that out, right?
mhm.
It lowers the and a lot of people, I'm telling you, with inflammation,
Yes.
it lowers that. So
Mhm.
when you're dealing with, especially a lot of people who work on their with their hands and they work with their legs, it reduces that. It makes you lighter. I'm telling you, I felt really light. Regulates sleep patterns. So those of you who deal with a lot of anxiety, deal with a lot of sleep disorders, it regulates that sleep pattern, which is really good. And it normalizes, okay, y'all got to help me with this one. Is that janine levels? G E G
It was
H
like ghrelin,
ghrelin. Okay, we're gonna
ghrelin
dissect that
level,
one too. We're gonna dissect that one too.
ghrelin levels.
Ghrelin. Okay, so that deals more so with your hormones. So
The hormone in your
the
stomach.
stomach. Come on. That produces and releases. So come on
Mhm.
now. So who want to do another 30 days with me? Raise your hand. Oh.
I
Uh,
would.
I'm gonna be eating better. And that is practicing Ramadan.
Really, really.
I'm gonna be increasing my prayers, and that is practicing Ramadan. I'm gonna be
Turns out,
reading the Quran even more, and that is
Praise be
practicing
to,
Ramadan.
praises be
right.
to Allah.
We have to remember. We have to remember the purpose of Ramadan.
That's right.
Not
But
to
we're dealing
open
more
till
so with the health benefits
right.
because it's important because a lot of times we when the month of Ramadan or when the Ramadan was created, it was a spiritual thing and it was a sacrifice.
It still is.
And it still is. No, but I'm saying when it was initially created, you know, now we're dealing more so because health is real. We
Yes.
are losing our
That's
we
all
are
you have.
losing
That's all you
It's
right. And
divinely
no, but we are
ordained,
losing,
prescribed by Allah.
you know, people because they're not checking on their health.
Right.
They can't make sacrifices for even fasting 1 or 2 days. You know, and they and we're losing our people as it relates to food intake. You know, people are not even dying getting hit by cars no more. They're dying because
For what they're
they
eating.
cannot push away from the
Right.
table.
That's right.
So we have to really be mindful of what we put in our mouth and why it's important that we put less in our mouth because that's one thing we cannot replace, and that's our stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to
Phew.
give that information to you, and that is the tree of the week. Back to you, Sister Michelle.
All right. Well, listen, if all hearts and minds are together, Sister Angela, do you have any few words for the audience? And then Sister Khalila, we can close this out.
Yeah.
If I can, how long I got? A couple minutes.
Hey, you got the flow now.
Shoot for it.
Praise be to Allah. If I can just throw this at us really quick, because we were talking about earlier about cleansing our physical bodies.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to remind us the importance of also cleansing ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so I did want to share this. I hope I can just take a few minutes to read this from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And this is out of How to Eat to Live. So we're really trying to make sure during Ramadan, we really should be doing this all year round. This should not just stop with Ramadan, right? We should continue making sure that we're monitoring our thoughts, monitoring our actions, careful of what we're taking in, careful of what we're sending out. Like Sister Khalila was saying, our intake of food, but we have to also, focus and not neglect our mental state as well. So on page 57 of this book, he says, the earth is full of food, but good health cannot enter our bodies until we have the proper food in the body and the proper food for thought. If we do not have the proper food for our way of thinking, we still cannot enjoy peace, good health, joy, and gladness of heart. We can eat the best foods. We can take fast for 9 days or for 20 days or for 30 days if we want to, and we will still suffer if we do not feed the brain with the right food. These two bodies, the brain and the digestive tract, have much in common with one another. Whatever hurts one hurts the other. We must treat both well. Wanted to share that.
Man, that was a good close.
It was.
Praise Allah.
I don't know about anybody else, but listen, that means that anything that you eat, if your mind ain't right, it's still garbage, even if it's organic.
Hello. Say something. It can actually turns into poison.
That's right.
Right.
If you eat in a very emotional state,
yes,
you experience indigestion, and that
negative effects, right?
And weight gain.
Yes,
adverse effect on you. Oh no, when we emotionally eat, that's the worst time to eat. You know, we're like, oh, I like the taste of this.
Right.
Let me go eat some more.
Right.
Let me go eat a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
Yes.
You know, by the time you know it, like you told yourself you were going to eat just this much, but now you ate this much.
That's right.
Because you felt like it made you feel a little bit better.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Wow.
All right.
Well, thank you again, Sister Khalila. The floor is yours.
Yes. So normally our dear brother Lau, always, close us out, about the set and about the crew, but we come into a theater near you. We are the 7th Region Coalition, and we are always here to save lives. And again, I thank you all for tuning in. Please, please, please like and share. We have contents that is through the roof. Please, I encourage you all
Go to
to like
YouTube. You can see
and share.
our library right there of programs that we've had in the past. Do yourself a favor, subscribe, like, share with your families. However, we can be of service to you as the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives. Reach out to us. You can
That's
find us here
right.
on Facebook and also uh,
On YouTube.
on YouTube. Thank you, Sister Cleo.
All right. So may Allah continue to bless you in this beautiful month of Ramadan. I pray that everybody was well and blessed in this month of Ramadan and learned and actually add, like Brother Tony say, in the month of Ramadan, good spirits and good practice
Absolutely.
moving forward. All right. So may Allah continue to bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum